How's it going?
Oh, it's a freaking crazy morning. I got murdered at my workout this morning.
Oh, really? What was you doing?
It, I usually do that rowing thing, but they were doing some kind of warrior benchmark,
All
and
right.
I don't know. That lady owned me. She just had me doing weights and push-ups and things I don't normally do, and it hurts.
Oh, wow. Like a circuit training sort of thing, was it? Like you do different stops and stuff.
Yeah, I mean they had the rowing in there too. They basically had us like see how quickly we could row for or how far we could how many meters we could row for 2 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And you like do that twice and then you do circuits off the rower and then you add like the number of reps you did to that to your meters and you get a number or something and then 3 months later they try to make you beat it.
All right. It's just like continuous improvement sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean I guess
Yeah.
I doubt I'll improve, but it's okay. It's
Nice.
so funny whenever they like every once in a while they'll ask for testimonials or whatever for the workout stuff, and it's always they'll come to me or whatever and like, so can you tell us, why do you row, why do you do it, or why do you work out? And I always tell them, I'm like, well, I'm just trying to stay net zero with my beer drinking.
Yeah. That's
They
that's
don't ever put
that's
it on the site. I don't know why.
yeah. That's all the incentive you need. It's like, oh, I need to. I want to drink, so I have to do this.
Right, exactly.
Oh, epic.
Oh
So
man, I think I'm out too. I was gonna pop a beer for the show again, and
yeah, I'm out as well at the moment.
dang it. Yep, I'm out. I just got um, vanilla Coke,
That'll do. Yeah. Nice.
plain Jane. Let me get the section pulled up. So we pop out the video.
So hello, welcome back to Go Again Gaming, and welcome back to the Azalea Cult, episode 8. Can't believe we're on episode 8 already.
Fast.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? But this is like a bit of a sort of off-the-cuff episode. There's a nice little bit of news that sort of tickled the Azalea Cult fancies with regards to something that we'll get into in a moment. But
Tickle
before,
our feet too.
yeah, exactly. Oh, tickle our feet, yeah, like that. Nice bit of foreshadowing to what we're going to see. But yeah, also wanted to come on and just speak about Azalea Cult community tales as well, because there's a few of those building up in the chat as well. So before we go into it, please make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel. We are approaching 1,000 subscribers on Go Again Gaming now, so
Do it.
hopefully we can get there by the end of the year. Yeah, a nice little number to try and hit towards the end of the year. And yeah, so if you haven't joined the Discord as well for the cult Discord, then go into the link in the description box below, and you can join that and just speak about all things Azalea. It's just always going now, isn't it? These days, it's just always people always chatting in there, sharing their stories, which we're going to share today, and trying to figure
Yeah,
out
been
what
a
the best thing to do
flurry of
is.
activity because of the launch of Dynasty as well.
Exactly, yeah. And the last episode we did was like a little skim over with Justin Soapy, the man that took Azalea to Living Legends points in Blitz, where we just skimmed over the Dynasty cards. But we'll probably revisit them in more detail on future episodes when we've had a time to simmer on them a little bit and test them out ourselves. So I don't know about you, but I haven't really tested the aim counters or anything yet.
Yeah, I for my armory on Tuesday, I threw in basically all the Majestics and a couple of the other cards that they weren't the I can't remember the names right now. I haven't memorized them yet really, but they were not the ones that like add bonus damage. It was like an aim counter adds an effect kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
I added those in and actually didn't get much of a chance to try them out because we had a 3-round blitz armory. First round was against Kano, who Kano'd me. I think I
yeah.
didn't quite get a second turn in. I was like mid-second turn when I
Wow.
fell. It didn't help that I forgot my null rune, so I didn't have
Oh yeah,
all of my null rune. I think I had AB 2 or 3, I forget.
yeah.
Anyway, so and then the next game I played a dash that had the high octane turn 2, I think, and
Jeez.
kind of obliterated me. So
Yeah.
and then the third round was a bye. So I have not tested her with the new
Yeah.
card all that well at all.
Nah. Yeah, nor have I, to be honest. I mean, I've just been hung up on
From
this.
Kalachar, huh?
Yeah, I've been playing every week now. That's like a weekly thing now. With
Yeah.
this, I feel like it's my definitive list for CC at least. Um, Also played in the. I'm not sure whether it will be. So by the time this episode goes live, you'll see me in the Clash tournament playing Azalea against
Yeah, yeah.
Ethnic Smoke. So I played against his Icelander Clash deck. And spoiler alert, you can go and watch the video, but it was a tough time. Really tough.
Icelander.
Yeah, it was a tough time. Ethnic Smoke as well is one of those people that were, I think, pioneering Icelander when she was first released, even without the support that she got in the latest set. When she came out, he was one of the ones that was pioneering her even then when she didn't have the full support. So yeah, he's definitely a very good player. Even in Clash, she is very degenerate. But yeah, by now that video will be out. So you probably would have seen it already. So I probably would have tweeted about it already. But if you haven't, go and have a look. I do get crushed. But that puts me in the losers bracket, so I might have a better game to sort of showcase in the losers bracket. So
You might also just say you're in the pits now, where you belong.
where I belong, yeah, exactly, yeah. And that's where we want to be. We want to be struggling. We want to be fighting for those victories. So when we do get them, it feels much better.
Makes it all that much sweeter, yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, before we go into the community tales, there was a nice piece of news that sort of tickled our feet, as you said. Earlier this week, and that was the December Armory kit reveal. Just reading it off the website, it says, "Socks again? What a shitty Xmas present." It is brilliant, and the look on Azalea's face here. It is Azalea. There was a bit of speculation as to who this was when the low res image was out on Twitter and stuff.
I had no doubt. Even with the low res image, I was like, "That's our queen. That's our queen."
Oh, you just know, don't we? At this stage, we look at her enough. Yeah, warm up for the holidays with December Armory events and get ready to fill your stocking with rainbow foil promo cards. Yeah, obviously there's a bit of an off season between now and the new year when also all the pro stuff kicks off. So
yeah, ProQuest starting in January.
Yeah, so obviously we had that announcement as well. Yeah, it's just a fantastic little thing here. So you think each game store obviously gets an armory kit, but you got this play mat which obviously has the art on it, People's Champion play mats. So we've already made our intention clear. We want one of these, and if someone
in such a bad way,
in such a bad way,
wanted just a picture of some socks in such a bad way, yeah.
Oh, it's amazing what this cult does to you. But if anyone's watching this now or in the future when this is released, if you do happen to procure one of these through your armory and you don't want it, then reach out to the cult, me or Jim.
Under the cult will find owners. Even if we already have ours, we'll find a good home for it.
True, yeah. we will broker a deal for you because that's what we do in the pits here. But yeah, it's cool because obviously they've got the play mats. You also got the posters. Sometimes the posters are quite available to get. I remember going to Kingdom Gaming. Shout out to them. They had, when they did their invitational event in the UK in January this year, they had a load of posters lying around from previous armories, and they were just giving them out. So my
LGS actually does the same thing. They roll a die and give out the posters based on your place or seed, essentially in the bracket.
Yeah, so we've got a good chance of getting one of those, potentially, maybe for the background here in my studio at least, and maybe just getting one of those. And then obviously we've got the actual cards themselves as well, and float up an image. Or obviously images will be floating up for viewers to see now. But obviously this just says, put cracked bauble from outside the game on top of target hero's deck. And it's a generic action, costs nothing, and it pitches for yellow. So it's just a funny little thing that you can use in like ultimate pit fights and social games where you just put in crappy.
Can you imagine doing that in the mirror match, like just kind of really screwing up the next Azalea turn?
Hold on a minute. That maybe that's what it is. Yeah, put it on top of target hero's deck. That alludes to Azalea's ability as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't think of that. Yeah.
Oh no, the promo screams Azalea. I love it. I love that they're featuring her.
Yeah, it's amazing. And while we're on the subject of this as well, do you think this is a subtle hint as to where we are going next?
Oh, to pile on to the existing pile of hints? Yeah, I think it is. I know there was, I think it was Kel or somebody saying that supposedly at Lille there was a Q&A where they said going to Mysteria next, but
yeah,
I don't know. I hope not. I hope we go to the pits, but I think we are 100% going to the pits next year. If it's not the first set, the second set.
Yeah, exactly. And it goes hand in hand with obviously the graphics that we've seen here. You've got Arachne in the background. You've got also this blue-haired lady in the front as well. We've got socks in her hand. She was also
who we think might be another assassin, right? Like
yeah,
possibly.
Yeah, exactly. And then in the back there as well, we've got a sort of Dash-esque elf character holding like a ball, a Christmas ball, which also it's a similar pose to Dash, the inventor extraordinaire. So I'll flash up both images side by side here, but it also looks like
I think Mech is obviously certainly going to be in the next or in the pits. It's going to. I assume it'll be a hybrid metrics pit set or whatever. So
yeah, that seems to be the main sort of thing that people are thinking, and rightly
maybe
so.
We'll find out then what Mech is, because we still don't really know. Is it a talent? Is it you know what's going on there?
Yeah, exactly. But everything points to the set that we want to go to the most. So yeah, it's nice to see that right before Christmas. A lovely present and a little tease for all of us Azalea fans and Cult members. I don't think I've released a video at this point. I think it is on one of the live stream replays, video on demands. But when I met with James White, and I spoke to him about, I said, thanks for allowing us to spoil the bow and all that sort of thing and speak about the bow. He said that it was a key piece for the future design space of Ranger.
Wasn't it something like phase 1 of 2 or something like that?
Yeah, so in Lille, when I met him there, it was only brief in Lille. He said it was phase 1 of 2 with regards to what was coming next. The bow, he said, was obviously fundamental to where she's going next. So I imagine we'll see the whole AIM thing expanded upon in the pits. So I'm not sure if the AIM counters are viable at the moment to quite push her over the edge. I still have a lot of joy.
It's just very basic right now. So like it kind of feels like a phase 1. At least I hope that they're gonna do more or gonna have a different kind of interaction in the future, because it really is just put this thing on the card to let it do something else. And not much beyond that.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe there's more ways to expand upon it, but yeah, they said James said that it is fundamental to the design space of the future of Ranger. So it's going to be paramount at some stage, the bow at least. So even though he said it's not apparent right now, but it will be. So and he said he did say as well the last video we did, he did say next year Azalea is going to be the business. So that was the quote that was used.
Yeah, no, that's my one why I'm at 100% now for the pits next year. It's happening next year. It's just, is it the first or the second full set? Obviously we have a supplemental in between the first and the second, but
yeah,
I can't wait, man. And I didn't mean to poo-poo the AIM counters. I do like it. It's something else. It's something new.
Yeah.
I just would like to see them do something kind of unique, like a new mechanic for her.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait for when that draft set comes around, because it's going to be one that I actually want to draft, even though I'm rubbish at it. I'm going to want to see in draft of those cards.
The Pits Azalea set, same. I'm not terribly good at it, but I love doing it. So
yeah,
at the next event I go to, and believe me, if they do a Vegas premiere event for this set, I'm there.
I'll definitely,
and I will certainly be drafting it.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully that lines up with this set. If this set is in Vegas, then I'll be there as well. Definitely.
We have to, man. We got to do a lot of Azalea Cult live from Vegas.
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%. That would be so sick. Lots to sort of latch on at the moment to for Azalea fans, Cult fans. A lot to look forward to. So obviously we'll report upon that as soon as we get stuff. So whenever we get news like this or sort of tidbits like this, we will hop on to do a smaller episode, which also includes some community tales as well of what other people are experiencing. And that's what we're going to go into now, or after the conclusion of that sort of news that we've had there. Again, we'll plug the Discord. So the Discord is in the link in the description box below. So if you want to sort of get your stories and tales onto this series now or in the future, then by all means just go and join that, and the link's in the description box below, and you'll be able to sort of share your experiences with our Supreme Leader.
Yeah, and don't be shy. Please share, no matter what the experiences are. I mean, good, bad, whatever. We take it all in the pits, and we just want to commiserate with you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. So there's a few things in here. There's a few long stories and a few short ones. So we're just going to go through them as I see them on here. So we'll flash up the images. But first of all, I just want to point out a nice little picture from Davis in the chat, saying, "I am now the proud owner of a finished Azalea all white border when possible deck." So there's a nice little picture there from Dave, as you can see, flashed up on screen in front of you. He is now the owner of a all white border when possible deck. So, which is fair enough, because it is the contrast between the white border and the sort of dirty, grimy Pits border is quite a nice aesthetic, I think, on the Ranger cards, or the Pits cards at least. So
it makes it pop. It does. For sure.
It does make it pop. And
I don't know, maybe for me personally, it's a little too clean for the Pits, but that's just me.
Yeah, but fair play for pimping out the deck in the way that you want to, Davis. Well done.
Yeah, absolutely.
So another little short,
unique to you.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all about identifying with the deck that you're building and customizing it the way you want to play it. Fantastic. I don't know, just Caleb in here with a very, very short little couple of lines saying, "Got my first 2 wins of Azalea tonight. Turns out Phi does not like 4 turns of attack 7 to 8 damage dominated red in the ledgers."
Love to hear it. Love to hear it.
Love to hear it. Yeah, that is one of the main lines that we absolutely love as Azalea players. It's just punishing those people that want to dump their hand constantly over and over again.
Roll those big arrows over and over again. Yeah. Punish them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Next, we've got a little armory tale from Yeezel. So he took her to an armory back in September. So there's a few old stories in here. To his memory, or their memory, there were 5 Icelanders, 4 Dromais, 1 Aldim, 1 Dash, 1 Viserai, 1 Rhinar, and 1 Azalea, which was Yeezel. First game was against Icelander, so it went to time, which sucked because I was up a lot of life. I would have won if we played faster, so I felt okay. Yeah.
Well, we'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it. Icelanders as a tough one. And I had that same experience in Lille as well. So I went to time. I played 3 Icelanders in the Berserker, which is like the daily double thing in Lille. And I went to time. I went to time against an Icelander. I won against one, and I lost against one. That was with my Dreadball list.
1-1-1.
1-1-1. So yeah, the Icelander's a tough one. And in the Clash game, I got absolutely crushed. So it can either go one of those ways, I guess. Second game was against Dromai. This one is a tough one. We all know this. Didn't go too well. They make dragons faster than I can kill them. Very, very much so. And if I ignore them, I die the second I can't land the red in the ledger. So honestly, have no clue how to win this matchup. Yeah, at the moment, it's probably one of the hardest ones because Azalea likes to fire maybe 2 arrows, maybe 3 if you're ridiculously lucky. But still, that's dealing with the critical mass of dragons is too hard for us at the moment because we want to shoot normally a 1-2 punch most of the time, isn't it, with Azalea? I feel
absolutely. I mean, maybe there's something we can do with New Horizon and having an extra arsenal, but still we need more go again. I don't know. That's a tough matchup.
It is really, really tough. Yeah, I don't think I've won a game against Dromai yet. So yeah, I feel you there. Third game was against a Mimi Twin Hammer Aldim deck. I think that might even be Capolo's list. Shout out to Capolo if you're watching, Mr. Orange Hat Swiss Man. He made a video on Twin Hammer Aldims. So
great dude.
He is a great guy. But yeah, he faced this deck, so maybe it was inspired by that. For the first time ever, my arrows did something since he was reliant on generating extra action points, 1 in overtime. So yeah, taking home a win against the Aldim there, which is nice. And then the fourth game was against Icelander again, which was a tight match, but I think I'm finally figuring out the matchup. I won at 9 life. So yeah, he figured out the matchup there on the last one.
And won against Icelander.
Yeah. So fair enough. And they're following on from that, saying surprising all-star cards of the day was Nimble Strikes. I still haven't used these yet.
I haven't really either.
Because they combo with Nimblism, which obviously is a 0-cost buff. I think Nimblism is quite good. I think I do want to try it because I do run, in my deck at least, I run the obviously E-Strikes and Snatches, which are pumped by that card. So maybe it could be a good one to try. So yeah, Nimble Strike, yellow Bolt and Shot. Bolt and Shots are just ridiculously good.
Yeah, for sure.
I never thought they were that good. When I was playing Azalea maybe a few months ago, I was all about the stack a massive buff on one arrow and then fire it. But the ability to go wide with bolt and shots is very good, very very good card.
Absolutely.
And then Blue Ridge Rider Shot, which is a nice one because it pitches for blue, blocks for 3. If you put it in there face up, you opt, so you can basically just switch out that weak arrow for something else. So it is quite a nice little opter, Blue Ridge Rider. So yeah, fair play. That's your favourite cards of the day. Then we got Wave Too High saying, "Hey everyone, I went 3-1, 5th place out of 14 players in a commoner event here on the east side of Portland in Oregon in the United States." So that's where Kel lives, in Oregon, I believe.
Yep, absolutely.
So fair play, well done.
Pretty good record too, by the way. That's better than 50%.
That is good. That is pretty good. 3-1. So the first loss was against Lightning Briar. Got him down to 1 though. So yeah, in commoner, Lightning Briar does have access to Ball Lightning, which is a bit of a shit.
It's yeah, exactly. That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah. So that's definitely a tough one. That is a really hard race to win. Then you won against Viserai. We were both down to 1. Yeah, so it's a nice little tight matchup. Viserai, I do find, can go like that as well. Very, very down to the wire. A win against Kano. Nice. Just had enough gas and dominated arrows to push through the win. Lovely old job. Nice. And then a win against Dash. Got a bit lucky with my opponent who boosted but saw a fate foreseen. So he couldn't get the go again. Unlucky. Yeah.
Nice.
That's just what happens to Dash sometimes. DGTCG saying, playing a few games of Blitz with my son today and went 3-0 against his Katsu. One game I had him at 3 life. Drew a yellow take aim, 2 red nimblism and a seek and destroy. Played the take aim, reloading a nimblism and blind Azalea into a red searing shot. Nimblism into the seek and destroy.
I love when the blind Azalea works out. It just really hurts when it doesn't.
Oh yeah, it does. But yeah, that's a classic story of having all buffs in your hand and no arrows, where
right.
The only way you can dig yourself out of that situation is if you have a card that reloads something in there, so you can then potentially opt with the cross wrap to see what's on top, get it out the way, and then blind Azalea if you need to go 2 cards deep with that. So
sure. Yeah.
Luckily, reload cards will allow you to go 2 cards deep, even if you have a stacked hand full of buffs but no arrows. So yeah, reload probably saving your ass there, which is another good utilization for the mechanic. Ban Azalea coming in here with went 2-1 tonight. Dash and Viserai wins and lost to Reinhardt on a reckless swing that I really should have accounted for. Oh mate, yeah, I've lost a few times against that as well.
That got me in Worlds actually, reckless swing.
Yeah, I remember sat next to you and you died. Yeah. Because you had your throat on him as well. You had your foot on his throat as well at one point.
Oh yeah, it was a dominated arrow coming right in.
And then reckless swing for the win. Oh damn. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what traps. That's what we should be able to do as well. More often is kill people on their turn when it's down to the wire. We set a trap for them at the very last moment.
Maybe that's what we're gonna get next set as part of phase 2 is traps that we can actually really work with.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it. But the matchup that is infuriating me as much as Prism did. So yeah, brutes are hard because I don't know about you or the viewers listening to this, but I do like to calculate my blocks when I'm playing with Azalea, and D-reacts and stuff do come in very very handy with Azalea. So having those banished away and not being able to calculate your blocks is very infuriating. Yeah, so it is a hard one. Intimidates absolute annoyance for that. And Ban Azalea also coming in with the fact that it's saying that we need an arrow that kills dragons if it hits a hero. So
it'd be like an arrow that splits into shards or something. Main arrow hits the hero, and then the shards hit the dragons or something.
Yeah, exactly. And I raised this point recently on the living
multi-shot.
Yeah, like a multi-shot thing, like. So one of my favourite cards of the set of Dynasty was a card called Cleave, which is a warrior card. And went into detail on this on Living Legends podcast, so go and check that out if you haven't done so already, if you're listening to this. But yeah,
great episode, by the way.
Yeah, it was good. It was good fun. People were not expecting the picks from me anyway. Loads of warrior cards. What's going on? But yeah, cleave is similar. It allows you to split the damage between hero and ally. So if we had more stuff like that for ranger, like a volleying shot or something that, like an explosive shot, or like you said, something like shards exploding.
I love cleave too. It's straight out of a D&D ability, and I mean other games too. But yeah, the idea of kind of hitting so hard you go right through your first target into the next. It's really cool.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we need stuff like that if allies are going to be more prevalent as time goes on. Cool. Then we're going up the list here to I big TYTYII. I don't know whether that's how I've done that correctly or not.
Pretty sure that's supposed to be big titty.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense now. Brilliant. Fantastic. But they got a good story here. All I have to say is 3-0 in local armory blitz event against Icelander, Dromai, and Rhinar. So a few things that people hate in the previous messages. The luck was unreal, and the hype was on another level. Hail Azalea, our glorious leader.
He was on high there.
He was an absolute hype, and that's why we play, because you get the results like that. People don't expect it. It's just fantastic. But they go on to say every game was really close against the Icelander. The first 2 turns were 14 damage apiece with a Seek and Destroy buffed into it. The second one was dominated, set the pace really nice. Yeah, Seek and Destroy is very good against Icelander because it forces their arsenal, which is where they store their...
Yeah, I got to clear it out.
Yeah, and that's where they store their bloody frostbite instant speed stuff, isn't it? So yeah. Dromar, I don't think I attacked for under 12 damage a single time. Wow, that's pretty good. Insane draws. We almost went to deck out.
That's how you do it. You just got to attack for 12 damage every time.
Yeah. Okay, right, that's fully noted. Let's try and attack for 12 every time. And then Rhinar was a race. I went first and had no arrow hand. Was responded with a 15 damage quad intim. Oh dear, yeah. So four intimidates. Wow, yeah.
No hand, actually, at that point.
No hand at all. No, wow. And then obviously there goes the cross wrap and boots, and it was a race from there. A bad backbone strapping roll, and his immediate tempo was cut short. Yeah, so Brute doing brute things, just obviously high rolling you at the very start and then low rolling when they need the tempo to continue, and they just fail. So right. Yeah, that's obviously the good thing about Brute. Sometimes they can just fall on their face, can't they? And you get the opportunity back. But when you're high rolled, you're high rolled.
Like to think of it as Azalea's pissing them off just so much they just start, making mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. So a bit of a sadder tale here. 03 Neros. Neros, fantastic guy, patron of the channel as well. But he's only recently picked up Azalea. He wants to give it a go. And he went 03. So drew against Katsu. So a draw. Not too bad, I guess. Went to time and I couldn't find lethal. Lost versus Prism. Prism is still a menace in Blitz. There was that whole story of her going to a CC event. As a young hero, and still doing well.
Doing really well.
Yeah, so Prism's still a bane on Rangers in general. A lot of auras, yep. And then lost to Dromai with a massive opening turn. So yeah, 2 illusionists. Yes, it's a tough matchup there also. Don't lose faith just yet. But thanks for trying her out anyway. And I know you've bought all the cards recently as well.
Keep the faith. Keep the faith.
So yeah, exactly. Keep the faith. And then another one I want to mention here in the pinned messages, at least, before we go on to the actual tales, which were submitted earlier today and over the last few days. Pat Smash Good from The Combat Chain, a fantastic podcast which focuses on very, very prestigious players coming onto their podcast and speaking about the meta and optimal choices and stuff. Very, very good. If you like that sort of thing, go and check it out. Just popping into the chat to say, did I face one of you monsters in the Blitz queue while I was on Arachne and went glide, seek, red in the ledger for 14 on me?
Love it.
It's just brilliant how he comes into the cult like every now and again and just says, right, was this bloody degeneracy you that I just had to face on Talashar?
Could you say at this point we are now infamous?
I think so. Yeah. Oh, geez, that's just great to hear. Cheers, Pat, for coming in to share that with us. And then we go into the actual the tales which we procured for these episodes in the future as well, where I've just asked the cult to, if they have a story, to put it in this section instead. rather than me having to pin the messages every time. So there's a few stories in here as well, which we're going to go over before we finish today. One of which is from eDarkness, quite active in the Discord now as well. So thank you very much for spreading your tales. So here we got versus Kasai and Blitz. After they finished with their mentor Minerva Tempest and shooted blood in their hands into their arsenal, I blocked with all of my equipment to barely survive so I could set up and knock the death whistle, reloading something in, getting red in the ledger, playing Seek and Destroy and Nimblism, and cracked my Blossom of Spring to send an 11 dominated arrow that ruined and destroyed blood on the hands.
Brilliant.
So yeah, amazing tale. And that's what it's all about, just sharing these absolute high roll moments with Azalea.
Oh, hold on, you got to read the failure right after that.
Oh, we will. We'll get there.
Okay.
So yeah, well done, eDarkness. But sometimes it doesn't go off. And he also tells us about a failure. My super tuned Blitz Azalea list lost to a completely new player who brought a Blitz Dromai Precon with a sad face. Oh mate,
you just kind of chalked that one up. You were teaching them how to play. That's what we do there.
Exactly. Yeah. Good game. You're picking this up quite well.
Picking it right up. Yeah.
Yeah. Well done. Brilliant. Oh, fantastic. Thanks for that, eDarkness. Chemical, again, patron of the channel. Thanks for your support. It was the first time I played an Azalea Blitz deck, but I remember playing against Sift Valda, which is obviously quite an interesting choice. It's obviously Valda can only be played in Blitz, but yeah, Sift is a nice list. The player thought it was funny I was playing, to him, one of the worst heroes in the game. But after taking a massive hit from him turn 1, dominated, I responded with another massive attack turn 2, dominated. From there, it was a downhill battle from me hitting him with a bunch of arrows and him thinking the game was over for him. Then comes the last turn where I draw 2 feign deaths and 2 buff cards. He dominates his next attack and I lose. He then admits he was sweating the whole game and he'll never take Azalea for granted again.
Well, hey, at least a lesson was taught. We'll take that one.
Exactly, yeah. I love that interaction as well. It's like when you sit down with someone who obviously thinks, oh yeah, this is Azalea, I'm going to win this fair and square. But then you start making them sweat and they're like, oh no, what do I do? How do I get out of this? Even if they win that game, they still have newfound respect for this hero, which is
yeah. And I have to admit, sometimes you get that, and then I've had the ones where you sit down and they're like, "What does she do again? What does your helm do again? What does the bow do?"
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, oh, you should know this. If you're meta, you should know what all the cards do. But I'll read it to you nonetheless.
Respect our queen.
Respect her, exactly. Log Dog has had a membership card. Well, I'm going to send him one because he won one of the competitions a while back. But yeah, played Azalea in a CC Armory on Wednesday and went 2-1. Nice. Beat a Kano. Another Kano getting killed by the Ranger. Fantastic. Then lost to a Dash. Then finished with a win against a great Briar player. That's good. It's just a nice little scalp to have, isn't it? If they're a known good Briar player, that's a tough match. Yeah. And the highlight of the night was the last turn against Briar. I had no choice but to blind Azalea on the last turn.
All been there.
We've all been there. We've had to do it, and yet some results come out the end as a result of this. Because I on the last turn, because I had a yellow bolt and shot in Arsenal, and he was at 2 life with a full grip. I used Azalea and landed on red in the ledger, dominated for the game. We were the last game, so everybody was watching. It was sweet.
Yeah. I landed on a red in the ledger. Like, you couldn't have asked for a better blind Azalea.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Pure theme, just coming in at the end when you need it. Yeah. Fantastic. Last game at the end as well. Everybody was watching. What a memory to create. So, yeah, thanks for sharing that one, Logan. Del Figalo 5. Played Azalea on a CC Talashar game a few weeks back. Matched in against an Arachne. So this is very, very recent. They ran the full 74 card list. This sounds like my list because I run loads of cards in my CC game, and treated the matchup like Fatigue, and Fatigue it was. Arachne kept using combat tricks and contract cards to try and get their silver and mill my deck, but through disciplined blocking I was able to deny nearly all but one of his contracts, putting a halt to their silver income. So yeah, it sounds like a good strategy to just keep trying to block the assassin. So yeah, that could be a way to go going forward, and just go in there against an assassin with a full deck, like you said, because you know you're going to be losing and hemorrhaging a lot of cards when you're playing against assassin. So it's probably worth running more cards than less against that matchup. So that's a good point to make. Eventually, we got down to the wire where we were both at 1 HP. Wow. I had no cards left in my deck.
Oh no,
that's crazy, isn't it? 1 HP.
Yeah.
But yeah, 1 HP each. I had no cards left in my deck. All I had was 4 cards in hand and 1 card in arsenal. But that card was my last arrow. Arachne attacks again with the Spider Bite into an attack action card, and I had to block. But then on my turn, I Azalea my arrow in arsenal to grant it dominate. With no equipment left and no D-reacts remaining, the final arrow was enough to win me the game.
What an epic game.
Yeah. Fantastic. I'd love to know how long that one went on for as well, with a massive list, a massive deck, and gone down to 1 HP. I would love to know how long that game took.
True, because Talishar doesn't really do a time limit or anything, so it'd be interesting to know.
Yeah. Cool. And that is pretty much all we have on the Tales from the Pits and the pinned messages as well. I think I might have skipped a few of them, but yeah, if you want to get involved next time, then leave more stories and tales in the Tales from the Pit section, and we can read them out on other episodes similar to this, where there's news or like a spontaneous little episode like this. That'll be awesome. But
yeah, I'd also like to just kind of specially request, as you're trying out the new arrows, the new cards, the new bow, etc. Let us know how you're doing with them. Like, how are things going? Have you kind of figured out a line of play that maybe we haven't thought of yet, etc.? So would love to hear those kinds of stories.
Yeah, definitely. Anything that relates to the new set, the new arrows. I've been too stubborn to test any of them yet, but I will do. Got a load of Dynasty cards today. This is the Ranger swag that we got on the case. So a little bit of backstory.
Hornet Sting on the front there. I know that people aren't a big fan of that one yet, but I would love to run it and pull some shenanigans when we're at 1/1 and do that 1 damage, like in the middle of a turn kind of thing, and during a reaction phase and end it like that. I think that would be fun.
Yeah, exactly. It's just one of those.
It reminds me of like a Shock Charmers or something like that.
Yeah, it's good as well because obviously when you defend with it, obviously you reveal the top card of your deck, and if it's an arrow, it deals 1 damage. If it is an arrow as well, you know it's there for a potential dominate next turn. So it does sort of give you an opt to a certain degree as well. But I think at this point I still prefer the bullseye braces because it gives you that way of getting something else into your arsenal, the +1.
1 damage though, it's like Shock Charmers kind of, where if you don't have a prevention effect, like if you're just blocking with cards, you're getting hit with that 1 damage. So yeah,
exactly. But yeah, as Jim said, if you have a tale for the new cards, the new lines, if you're found something that we haven't experimented with yet, then by all means let us know, because we haven't actually done that ourselves yet. So that's pretty much it for today's episode. Thank you very much for joining us. And again, if you're new here, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel and help the Go Again Gaming channel get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That would be fantastic. As always,
let's assemble together. Let's get them to 1K.
Absolutely, yeah. Let's do this. But yeah, if you're a patron of the channel as well, you get access to 10% off every order that you make through this guy's single store once per month as well. So if you want to shout out your single store as well.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. fabtcgcards.com. And actually, I've had quite a few of the cult members picking up cards.
Nice.
I was watching some of the shipping just to see how it's been lately. And it looks like over to the UK, at least, it's about 10 to 12 days. It's not terrible. So
no,
I really appreciate the support, though, from everybody that's purchased recently.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of people have got good words to say about you as well with regards to getting the stuff there quick. It's just like, oh, I got a notification that Jim shipped my stuff already. Great.
Yeah, it's usually an evening thing. Like we pack the orders as soon as they come in when we can. Obviously, there's sometimes situations that I can't ship that quick, but I do the best I can. Yeah, exactly. But it's all about supporting each other, and that's what the Pits and the Azalea Cult was all about. Just getting through these times and helping each other out, even if we are playing in the pits with the shittest hero in the game. I would not want to be playing anywhere else or with any other hero. So exactly. Absolutely. Nice.
Well, thanks very much
I
for
will
tuning in.
take the shitty Christmas present for it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll buy her a better present.
Yeah.
Nice. Thanks very much, everybody, and we'll see you next time.